Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap on in with your boy before I start building on the topic for the day. Feeling a little bit inspirational, a little motivational today, man. Hopefully everybody is having a peaceful Saturday, man. Hopefully y'all got a little time to build, man. Chop it up with your boy, man. How everybody holding up? Magic Realms, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? How you holding up? How you feeling? Antoinette, peace queen. What's going on with you? How y'all holding up on this Saturday, man? How this Saturday treating y'all thus far? Like I said, man, feeling inspirational today, man. I want to get some inspiration off my chest. Been one of them, well, the past few weeks have been kind of crazy, man. So I feel like it's just time to, what I'm saying, inspire the people a little bit. So a little bit of motivation I got on me. I want to get it off my chest. Beautiful Goddess Keys, peace queen. What's going on with you? Supreme Allah, peace to the God. What's going on with you? Montel, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? Magic Realms, man. There you go, man. We gotta get an alignment out here. Center yourself. That's what it's all about. We always gotta center ourselves, man. Renzo, peace. What's going on with you? Louisiana, you already know, man. Tapped in. Tapped in, man. We in sync, whether we know it or not, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, man. We in sync, man. Just on that same frequency. Justin, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? Montel, man, everything is smooth my way, man. Like I said, just centering myself. Ignoring all the nonsense, ignoring all the negativity, ignoring all the ignorance and whatnot. So that's kind of what that's the vibe that I've been on lately, man. Just ignoring things that are not conducive to my overall health and well-being. And I tell you, man, the times that you do that, you feel a lot better, man. You feel a lot better when you just ignore these things, man. If somebody is not adding value to your life and you just ignore them, man, when they come into you with that negativity, great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, man, and it demonstrates your power, man, when you don't allow people to bring you down. That's a whole nother level of power. Just being able to say, you know what, I'm not gonna entertain this right now because it's bringing me down. It's making me upset. It's making me feel negative. So you know what, I'm gonna just ignore it and I'm gonna do some things that's centering me out or balancing me out. So that's a whole nother level of power right there, man. Just exercising that power, man. If somebody is coming to you with bad intentions or negative intentions, man, and just be able to say, you know what, I'm not gonna entertain this right now, man. That's demonstrating and exercising your true power. Magic Rims, I know all about those claims, accusations, theories, whatever we want to call them, facts, whatever we want to call them. I know all about that. All about that. But yeah, man, we gotta start when it comes to exercising that power and control and things of that nature, man. We got to do better when it comes to determining our value. A lot of times we allow a lot of these external factors to dictate what we are worth, whether it be like a job or whether it be just someone else telling you what your value is. Like, we got to put an end to that. We got to put an end to that. Cammy, peace, what's going on with you? But we got to put an end to external factors determining your value. Like, come on now. The only person that should be determining your true worth and value is you, is yourself. Point blank, period, man. It should not be anything or anybody else telling you what you are worth. Tay, Peach Queen, what's going on with you? Get that workout in. Get that workout in, most definitely. But don't allow that job to dictate how much you are worth. Don't allow that family member to dictate how much you're worth. Don't allow that friend or that stranger to dictate how much you are worth. That's your responsibility. You are the sole controller of that. You are the sole controller of your life. So you are the sole controller of your value. You are as valuable as you think you are. You are not as valuable as someone tells you. You are not as valuable as a job is willing to pay you. You know what I'm saying? You are as valuable as you tell yourself you are. If you tell yourself you only worth what this job is paying you, then guess what? That's how valuable you are. If you allow somebody to tell you how much you are worth or tell you how valuable you are or how valuable you are not, and you roll with it, then that's you. That's on you. Yeah, Louisiana, like exactly. And a lot of times, man, a lot of people, Nikki P Screen, what's going on with you? And a lot of times that's what we roll with. We always seeking that outside validation to the point where when people on the outside start telling us things about ourselves, we start accepting those things as truth. You can't do that. You can't do that. You are the best knower of yourself. The only thing people can judge you off of is what they see or what you show them. They don't necessarily know the real you, man. So you got to stop allowing people to perceive you in a certain light, and you accept that perception as if it's everything that you have shown them is true and accurate about yourself. There's plenty of things that they don't see. There's plenty of things that they have yet to see. And those are the things that they can't judge, obviously, because they haven't seen them. Louisiana, no doubt. And even on top of that, it's just some people are so miserable that they don't even want you to get close to feeling better about yourself. So you may not even have anything going on, just the simple fact that you associating with somebody that's miserable, like they just trying to pass along that energy. They're like, look, I'm miserable, therefore anybody around me or everybody around me has to be miserable too. They have to possess this same type of miserable energy that I possess. And like that's trash, man. That's trash. Miss Donnie Peace, what's going on? But yeah, that's trash, man. Like that's why I really don't associate with said individuals, you know. But at the end of the day, man, I'm one of the ones where I'm not about to become a product of my environment, but I'm not going to willingly place myself in an environment that's toxic and negative and just sad and depressing and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I know that I have the power to rise above the environment that I'm in. But like I said, man, having all that willpower is overrated. I'd rather just not place myself in that position than to continue to place myself in that position and rely on willpower. Utilizing willpower all the time is draining. It's draining. That's almost like trying to change the way that you eat. It's better to just not buy the food that you shouldn't be eating, opposed to just buying the food and saying, well, I'm gonna just try to refrain from it. Listen, out of mind, out of sight. So a lot of times, man, we try to rely on that willpower, man, but that's overrated. That's overrated, man. Just do better. Just stop buying the garbage food. Just stop hanging around these toxic people. Don't say, you know what? I'm going to try to hang around these people, but I'm just not going to entertain them. I'm just going to try to ignore them when they come to me with certain things, man. Just stop hanging around them. Stop buying that gross food. Stop doing those things. Out of mind, out of sight. Don't even give yourself the option, you know what I'm saying, to go down that wrong path, to do what you know is wrong, to jump off of the ledge. But willpower, man, that's overrated, man. That's overrated. That is overrated, man. That is overrated. Exercising all of that willpower is overrated, and it will end up draining you. So it's better to just do what it is that you need to do, and then avoid certain situations, avoid certain people, avoid certain products, whatever it is that you are striving to, not striving to, that you know you need to avoid. Yeah, magic, and that's essentially what I'm talking about, man. That's why that willpower is overrated, man. So if you know it's a certain way that you need to eat, and you know that there's certain foods that you need to refrain from, don't buy the foods. Don't buy the foods, man. You know how rough it is, man, when you know it's certain foods that you don't need to be eating, yet you keep buying them and they in the crib. Like eventually you gonna fold. Eventually you will fold. All it takes is that one bad day, man. You got that food, you got that ice cream in the crib, knowing you're not supposed to eat it. But all it takes is that one bad day, man, when you had that rough day at work or whatever the case may be, and you're like, you know what, man, I'm gonna eat this ice cream simply because it's there. The ice cream wasn't there, don't matter how bad the day gets, not gonna eat it because it's not there. So it's like, man, just don't even purchase it. If you know every time you get around somebody, it turns into destruction, or it turns into chaos, or it turns into a conflict, or whatever it turns into, and it's something negative, then just stop hanging around that person for a minute, man. Stop surrounding yourself with that person for a minute. Distance yourself from that person for a minute. Don't be like, you know what, I'm gonna be around this person consistently, but I'm just going to avoid talking to this person. Like, man, that ain't no way to live, to say, man, you know what, I'm gonna still deal with them, but every time I go around, I'm just not gonna say anything. Like, man, that's unnecessary, man. Just distance yourself. Just distance yourself, man. Distance yourself. That's all I can advise and suggest. So stop willingly placing yourself in toxic environments and toxic situations, man. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. And that boils down to you just valuing yourself, valuing your peace, valuing your health, valuing your sanity. You cannot value your peace, sanity, and your health if you keep placing yourself in these unhealthy environments and unhealthy situations. You don't value your health and you don't value yourself when you keep doing those things, man. So if you value yourself, if you respect yourself, if you love yourself, then you'll place yourself in environments that reflect that. You will place yourself in environments where the atmosphere is loving, where the atmosphere is peace, where the atmosphere is healthy. That's what will happen, man. If you love yourself and you respect yourself, you're gonna place yourself in environments that reflect that type of vibe, frequency, energy, whatever you want to refer to it as. But when you're dealing with the society today, the wilderness of North America, as we like to call it, you are dealing with a lot of people that don't have this self-respect. So that's why they don't mind placing themselves in toxic environments and situations, because they have a lack of respect for self. So it's easy to determine, it's easy to see who doesn't respect themselves out here just based off of the environments that they place themselves in, and just based off of some of the things that they indulge in. All you got to do is just analyze how they treat themselves, man, and you will see who respects themselves. And when you come across somebody and you do the knowledge to somebody and you find out that they don't have that respect for themselves, then I don't know why you would entertain even being in a relationship with them. Because if they don't respect themselves, what do you think? How do you think they're gonna view and treat you? How you think they're gonna view and treat you, man? If somebody has a lack of respect for themselves, why you think they're gonna respect you? It doesn't make any sense, man. So we gotta stop expecting people to do things for us that they don't even do for themselves. So if somebody doesn't love themselves, how they supposed to love you? If somebody doesn't respect themselves, how can they respect you? If somebody doesn't want themselves to be healthy, then why you think they should value your health? Like, come on, you got to make all of that type of stuff make sense. DJ Elmo Peace, what's going on with you? We gotta make that type of stuff make sense, and it really doesn't. So if somebody is out here not loving themselves, hating themselves, not valuing their health, not valuing their peace, then they not about to do that for you. They don't value their peace, and you think they about to value your peace. Nah, it's not gonna work like that, man. So again, man, when you deal with a person that you see doesn't respect themselves, man, you got to deal with that person according to that realization. They lack respect for themselves. So either A, you could just wait for them to establish that self-respect, or you can keep it moving, man. You can keep it moving. And that's why a lot of relationships, whether it's family, friends, or whether it's your spouse or whatever the case may be, man, that's why a lot of these relationships like fail, man. Because the way people view themselves, man, like I said, a lot of people not in tune with themselves. A lot of people don't know who they are. You don't know who you are. You can't love yourself. And then you have a situation where it's one person that they know who they are. They are in tune. They are deeply in tune with themselves. But then they see this other person that's not in tune with themselves, and they feel like they got to fix this broken person. It's not your responsibility, fam. You can't fix a broken person. You can't do it. Only they can fix themselves. So if you go into a relationship with the sole intentions of striving to fix a person, that's gonna fail. That's gonna fail big time. Yeah, Magic Realms, man, and that's an age-old reality, but yet we don't live that reality out. It's like everybody knows the cliche saying, but they don't live out that saying. You cannot love anybody else until you love yourself. So that's why self-love is at the foundation. Self-love is at the foundation, man. You have got to love yourself. You got to love yourself first and foremost. But like I said, even before that, you can't love something that you don't know. So you gotta know yourself. Know thyself. So you already know. You already know the ancestors, man. That's what they dealt with. That's what we deal with. That's the foundation. Knowing thyself. Knowing thyself, man. Then that's when you can learn to love yourself. But like I said, man, we dealing with a lot of things on this particular side of town here, wilderness of North America, to the point where we have where our, you know, our history wiped out, rewritten, fabricated, manipulated, corrupted, all of that good stuff. So all of that good stuff. So a lot of us are not in tune with who we truly are, like our true selves. So we think that a lot of what we see in regards to the actions of a lot of black men and women are the way that we naturally are, when in reality, it's far from our true nature. It's far from our true nature. We are definitely acting other than our true selves. Definitely. And all you got to do is just study the history of your people. All you got to do is study the history of your people, and you will see what we're talking about. But they have done a good job within the media just manipulating us, and they got us viewing ourselves in a certain light. Like I said, for the most part, we tend to view ourselves as inferior. And sometimes, not even sometimes, a lot of times we do this unconsciously and subconsciously, because they didn't manipulated us, man, to that point, to where it's like unconsciously we view ourselves as inferior, less valuable, not as intelligent, and all of that type of stuff. Just a bunch of thugs and all that type of stuff, man. That's how we view ourselves, and that's how we view each other subconsciously, for the most part, just due to the media manipulation. So we gotta fight through that, and that's a reality that we cannot ignore. So we have definitely been programmed in a way to hate ourselves and hate everybody that looks like us. So we got to just reprogram ourselves. But first, you got to unlearn everything that you were taught, and then you got to reprogram the mind. So that's what we got to go through. And that's why it's the duty of the adults, those of us that know better, man. We got to do a lot of teaching out here. A lot of teaching, a lot of motivating, a lot of inspiring. And that's why every chance I get, man, I'm striving to motivate and inspire people, man. So just so you can know, that it's positivity out here flowing from another brother, flowing from another sister, man. There's people out here that's dishing out that positivity, that's dishing out that motivation, dishing out that inspiration. It ain't just all negative gossip and destruction out here. It's people out here, man, that's pushing that positivity, man, pushing that information, that education. Like we pushing it. We gonna push it hard, man, because we got to neutralize the nonsense. Dakota, man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that little donation there. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, Louisiana, man. They hate to see you. They hate to see you elevating out here. They hate to see you elevating. They hate to see you transcending. They hate to see you just rising above and beyond the chaos. They can't stand to see that. That's why you got to be real mindful, man. That's why when you making certain moves, man, like I said, especially if you in a city where you grew up, man, when you making certain moves, you got to be mindful. You cannot act like you invincible out here, man. You definitely got to be mindful in regards to the way that you move. When you start making certain moves in the city, you got to watch who you hang around, man, because people are envious. People will hate on you. But the crazy thing about it is they'll smile in your face and act like they're not going to hate. Smile in your face, you know, backstabbers. Y'all know the song. So you got to watch. Sadly, those are the people that you got to watch the most, man. The people that's out here just smiling in your face, saying yes to everything, agreeing to everything. Like, you got to watch them people, man. You got to watch them people very closely. You got to watch them very closely, man, because those are the ones that are plotting on your downfall. You gotta keep some honest people around you, man. People that's gonna tell you the truth. People that's gonna tell you what you need to hear, man, not what you want to hear. Those are the people that you can semi-trust, but you never let your guards down fully. Righteous Reese, peace. What's going on? Oh, Magic Rims, no doubt. No doubt, man. When you become in tune with yourself, man, like, again, we call it A-alikes. So for one, you're gonna start attracting people that's on that same type of vibe as you. Once you start to love yourself, you're gonna attract people that's on that same vibe. But then, like I said, at the same time, it's not that you even attracting the negativity. It's not that you attracting this destruction. You just starting to realize how out of tune people are. with themselves, man. When you start getting in tune with yourself, you just gonna start realizing how out of whack everybody else is. Like it has always been there, but you was out of whack yourself. So you wasn't really paying attention to it. It wasn't resonating. But when you become in tune with yourself, then you start to really pay attention to the fact that, man, it's a lot of people that's out of whack out here. It's a lot of people that are not in tune with themselves out here. So now you're gonna start paying attention to that more. So that's why it seems like when you start to make certain changes, that's why it seems like everybody is against you and everybody is just negative now that you have found the light. But no, everybody was already that way. You just was in that same crowd, so you wasn't paying attention to it. But when you rise above that crowd, then you start to notice, like, dang, man, what's going on, man? Every time I try to change my life for the better, it's like I get hit with all this negativity. That negativity was already there, always there. You were just a part of it. The moment you separate yourself from the negativity, then you start to realize how bad it is. But when you are a part of it, you ain't thinking anything of it because you are part of the mix. Sharif, man, peace. What's going on with you, my brother, man? Dive into that book. It's a very great book, man. Wisdom, peace. What's going on with you? Appreciate you tapping in. But yeah, man, when you start to elevate, again, like I said, you're gonna separate yourself from the crowd. So that's how it was for me. I was a part of the crowd. I was a part of the deaf, dumb, and blind. I was a part of the masses, the savages in pursuit of happiness. I was a part of that crowd. So when I started to elevate, I started to really pay attention to the crowd. I was like, dang, man, people out here negative, people out here toxic, people out here destructive. But it's like, man, they was already that, man. But I was just on the same stuff, man. But the moment I tried to change it up for the better, I realized it. And it started to resonate. It started to sink in because I was in tune with myself instead of being in tune with the destruction and negativity. So that's always gonna happen, man. The moment you start to elevate, whatever crowd you dealing with at that time, when you start to elevate above and beyond that crowd, you're gonna really start to pay attention to see how negative that actual crowd is. And that even happens with family. When you deal with your family for so long, and then you say, you know what, it's time for me to evolve. It's time for me to elevate. It's time for me to rise. So when you start to elevate above and beyond your family members, then you start to notice how destructive your family is, you know. But when you are part of that destruction, again, you're not paying attention to it. You're not paying it any mind because you're part of it. But the moment you say, you know what, I'm tired of being a part of this destruction and this negativity, I'm gonna rise above and beyond it. Then you're like, dad, man, my fam is toxic. Stuff is crazy. So that's a given, man. That's gonna happen every time, man. Every time you separate yourself from the crowd, you're gonna realize how garbage the crowd actually is and was. Yeah, Magic Realms, just like a radio station or a television station or whatever the case may be, man. You've been so programmed to watching one channel, it's like you think this is the best channel in the world. But then you turn it to the next channel and realize this other channel is a lot better. So it's like it's the same way in life. You'd have been operating on this same little vibe for the longest to where you think, man, it don't get any better than this. I'm out here living my best life. Then you say, you know what? I'm gonna turn it up a notch, and you realize, wait a minute, it can get way better than this. It can get way better than this, man. And when you value yourself, by default, you're gonna value evolution. You're gonna value evolution, man. A lot of people don't value evolution. They don't value change. They value staying complacent, staying content, staying in the same place. You can't value that, man. That's the only thing constant is change. Literally, that's the only thing. And when you don't value change, you're going against nature. When you go against nature, you already know what happens when you go against nature. Destruction. So that's why a lot of people out here self-destructing, man, because they don't value nature. They don't value change. Santriez, peace. What's going on with you? Righteous. Hey, no, most definitely, man. Like you say, that bird's eye view, you definitely get it. And sometimes that's what it takes. You got to rise above the nonsense, man, to actually bear witness to the nonsense. You know, so that's why I say, man, you got to rise above and beyond it, man. You got to transcend. You got to transcend, man. You got to stop being the same person each and every day. It's like, man, you went one whole week and you was making these same type of errors and mistakes. Why would you go the next week making the same errors and mistakes? You can't do that. You can't do that, man. If you was operating in a certain way last week that didn't put you over the hump, why would you do those same things the next week? Like, nah, you was fortunate enough to get the ability to have a new week. Man, make the best of it. Make the best of it, man. Stop repeating your weeks out here. Stop doing the same thing every week. Stop doing the same thing every day. Just do something different, man. Change it up. Change it up. Dreaming of GTR. Peace. What's going on with you? So you gotta change it up, man. A lot of times we don't change it up. We get complacent. Like I said, we don't like that challenge. When something challenges us too hard, man, we be like, I'm good on that. No, those are the things that you should embrace, man. A challenge. It's almost like I said, it's like working out. It's easy to go in the gym and do the things that you used to doing. Go into the gym and do movements that make you uncomfortable. Do the exercises that you hate the most. Like, that's when you're gonna really start growing, man, and start experiencing those gains and start hitting your goals and whatnot. Do the things that make you uncomfortable. Do the things that you don't like. And do something different, something that you've never done before. Like, that's what you should be doing on a weekly basis, man. Do new things. Experiment. That's what life is all about. Get out of your comfort zone. Step out of that comfort zone so you can grow. Let go of those bad habits so you can grow and develop new habits. It's hard to develop new habits when your old habits is taking up all the space. So you got to make room for these new habits, man. But if you're not willing to let go of them old habits, man, there is no room. There is no room. Dreaming the GTR, man. I actually had to take about a 1 or 2 week break from the gym myself, man, just due to the accident and some stuff that's went on in my personal life, man. Just kind of banged up a little bit. So I know how we feeling, man. I can't wait to get back to it next week, man. I'd have had to take some time off, man, but sometimes it's what you got to do. Can't be ignorant out here. I've been ignorant long enough, man. I done tried to work through some things and then end up setting myself back more months. They say the movie Monster I'm watching, they got Nas in it. What movie is that? I might have to check that out. Static saying, peace, what's going on with you, man? Everything is, I mean, it's not really nothing has been really resolved in regards to that particular issue, but I'm moving on, man. I'm like I say, I'm transcending. I'm elevating, man. I'm not entertaining the garbage. I'm not entertaining the nonsense. I know my worth. I know my value. I know what value I bring to the table. If people are not willing to treat me like the person that I know that I am, then that's on them. I'm not about to be dealing with them. I'm not about to be dealing with them. Like I said, you don't have to accept mistreatment. You don't have to accept toxic behavior. You don't have to accept disrespect. You don't have to tolerate it, no matter who it is, no matter who it's coming from. You don't have to tolerate it. You don't have to deal with that nonsense. And that's just an actual fact. That's just an actual fact, man. So I'm at that stage. I'm at that stage in my life to where I'm not dealing with the nonsense, man. I'm not dealing with the nonsense, man. I choose not to deal with the nonsense. The nonsense is what's killing us out here, man. We out here feeling like we gotta accept certain behaviors from certain people, and that ends up killing us. That ends up killing us. That ends up stressing us out to the point, man, to where, like I said, it's destroying our health. So I value my health, man, and doing all that stressing, doing all of that arguing, doing all of that communicating with people who are not striving to better themselves, that essentially will take you out the game way before you need to be taken out of the game. So I'm not about to self-destruct out here, and that's essentially what that causes, self-destruction. So I'm not on that type of vibe no more, man. If it's not, like I said, not adding on to the value and quality of my life, then I'm good on it. And I know and understand my value. I know and understand what I bring to the table. I know and understand what I'm worth. So I'm dealing with people that can acknowledge that in me. If you not meet me at that level, then I'm not dealing with you. I'm not about to, like, listen, I'm not about to try to earn a certain type of perception from you when I feel like if you've known me over the years, my ways and actions then already demonstrated that I'm this type of person. So I'm not out here to try to make somebody view me a certain type of way. I don't care about it that much. I really don't care how you view me at the end of the day, man. So if you have a misunderstanding in regards to how I move and how I'm living, that's your problem. I'm not out here to explain to you or clear up the misunderstanding. Like that's on you. If I express to you one time what it is and you choose to misunderstand it, then look what I just said you chose to at that particular point, man, because I break things down precisely. Like I'm gonna break it down to you precisely. I'm gonna make sure I'm clear in regards to breaking something down about myself, man. So at this point in the game, man, a lot of people are just choosing to not understand the kid, and that's on them. Magic rims, man. Like I said, balance, equality, being centered, all one and the same, and all of it is key. Being centered, man. Just being able to center yourself. That's why people ask me, "Am I happy and am I sad?" I'm like, I don't focus on being happy, sad, positive, negative. I focus on being centered. Like that's it. And people never really understand what I'm saying when I say I focus on being centered. I don't really care to be happy. I don't care to be sad. I don't care to be positive. I don't care to be negative. I don't care to be optimistic. I don't care to be pessimistic. I care to be centered. That's what true peace is, being centered. Being centered, you're able to see both sides. You know what I mean? Like you're not too far from the positive realm. You're not too far from the negative realm. Like that's how you able to better deal with reality when you choose to remain centered. A lot of times when people are overly positive, they live in an unrealistic world. Same for the people that's overly pessimistic. Like it's like they only see things one way. They only see things in that overly pessimistic view, or they only see things in that overly optimistic light. That's not life. When you center yourself, you're able to see both sides. You're able to like, all right, I'm not too far from this optimistic side. I'm not too far from this pessimistic side. So I'm able to see both sides. So that's how I choose to operate. That's how I choose to function. I always strive to be centered, man. And I tell people that all the time, man. That's what my life is about, just being centered, balancing myself out. Your body, like we just a reflection of the body. Like the body is like that. The body don't strive to be overly alkaline. The body don't strive to be overly acidic. The body strives to be right in the middle. Literally, your body strives for homeostasis. That's balance. Like that's literally what the body strives for. So that's exactly what I strive for, to be balanced, to be centered. So I'm not about to live in a way to where I'm disconnected from reality, because to me, that's not the way to live neither. And I'm not about to be so sad to the point where I accept that as reality, because that's not the way to be. Yeah, wisdom, man. It always starts with changing self. It always starts with that paradigm shift within yourself. That's where everything will start. That's where everything will start. Like nation, we're gonna check that out. We're gonna check it out. Yeah, Magic Rims, man. That's why, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not this overly positive dude. If anything, I refer to myself as a realist. That's what I strive to be. That's what I strive to be, man. That's how I strive to live. Strive to be more of a realist. I feel like that revolves around being centered, because like I said, I don't even like to use the terms negative or positive. To me, those things really don't exist for the most part, because even a situation that you may view as negative may be a positive for another person. So a lot of times I don't even use those labels, man. I don't say, that's negative, that's positive. I don't use those labels a lot of times, man. I just look at things as they are. A lot of things in life are just merely neutral, man. So they're not really positive. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just neutral. It's just it is what it is, and the way we perceive it makes it positive, negative, good, or bad. You know what's crazy, Magic Realms? You say I see that quite often in the spiritual community too, overly focused on the positive, but remaining somewhat ignorant of the negative layers of things. And that's kind of crazy because some of them are overly focused on the positive, yet their ways and actions tend to be negative. Is what's crazy, and they tend to try to justify a lot of bad habits that they possess, which is crazy coming from that community, man. And Alonzo Peach, what's going on? Another thing too, that even comes with black people when we study our history. We tend to only focus on the positives that come from our history. And I know why I know why we do that, because we didn't been lied to for so long. When we start coming across the glorious things that we did so long ago that people act like we didn't do, we tend to overly focus on. But we also had some things that we did back in the day that wasn't so positive, that wasn't so glamorous, and a lot of times you don't hear people talk about that. So when you have people talk about ancient Egypt, ancient Ethiopia, wherever they want to focus on, a lot of times they only focus on the positives. Like we went out here doing a bunch of nonsense also back in the day. But like I said, I know and understand why we do that. I know and understand why we do that, man. But I don't like to romanticize anything. That's why when people tell me what my ancestors did, I look at them like, man, my ancestors did a bunch of things that are decent, a bunch of things that are not so decent. They are doing that today, and they did it back then. That's always been life. That's always been how life operated, man. It's always been that duality. So there was never a point in time on this planet where everything was just one way. Best believe that, man. So don't romanticize history to the point where you making it seem like it was just positivity. It was just power. Like, nah, man, you had, like, again, like we say, nothing new under the sun. So you had some of everything going on back in those days. Back in those days that we tend to romanticize. You had some of everything going on. Oh yeah, wisdom, man. Always want to be flexible, swift and changeable, being able to adapt and adjust. Always, always. Should always strive for that. Flexibility is important, not only physically, but mentally. You want to be flexible on the physical end, you want to be flexible on the mental end as well. You want to be able to just adapt and adjust, man, to your surroundings, to certain circumstances, man. Just being able to adjust. That's a big quality to possess, man. It's a big characteristic trait to possess, being able to just adjust and adapt to things around you. Because you never know, man. Life gonna throw some strange things your way. And one thing you can't do is fold. You can't allow life to just punk you, man. You can't do that. Oh, Nation, hey, Drag On is my man. So I already know. I already know about Drag. You hear me? Drag is my man. Righteous, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And let me put that on the screen because I gotta build on that. Righteous Reese, my brother says, fear is the reason I believe people will try to only focus on the positive and not the negative. But it's crazy. When you are motivated by fear, you're gonna end up manifesting that in which you fear. So doing that is the wrong approach because you're gonna end up giving birth to that in which you fear when you motivated by the fear. So that's why I tell people never be motivated by that fear. Never. Once you become motivated and inspired by that fear, it's a wrap. You're gonna manifest exactly the exact conditions that you are fearing. So never be motivated by that fear. And I see that a lot of times, man. People try to think in a certain. It's almost like and I'm gonna give y'all an example. It's like when you was raised a certain type of way. and you wasn't too fond of the way that you raised. So then you grow up to be an adult and you grow up to be a parent. So out of like, you will try to raise your child the exact opposite of how you was raised out of fear of them turning out to be a certain type of way, man. And I've watched that literally um make a person more destructive because they just merely trying to raise that child just out of fear of like the way that they was raised, man. So it's like, nah, man, just raise that child the way that a child should be raised, man. Just give them the love, man. Give them the positivity, give them the peace, man. Just center them out and things of that nature. Like the wrong thing is to be motivated by that fear, saying, man, when I was raised, man, they treated me like this, they treated me like that. I have a fear of turning out to be just like my father, so I'm just gonna act the total opposite. And it's like, nah, man, you don't be motivated by that. Don't be motivated by that. Don't be motivated by that, man. You got a child, man. Just love that child, man. Just show that child some love and listen to him. Strive to understand him. That's it. Don't be trying to say, man, I have a fear that I'm a be like my father, so I'm gonna try so hard not to be like him, man. You're gonna end up doing things that your pops did to you that you couldn't stand because you motivated by this fear. You let that fear control you. So I've seen that a lot, man. People was raised a certain type of way and they had this fear of turning out to be like the mother or the father that they cannot stand. So then they try to live in a way that's the total opposite of them. Then they end up becoming destructive, just in different ways. It may not be the same way, but then they turn out to be destructive in another way, man, because they giving birth to that, man, because they are motivated by that fear. So don't be motivated by the fear out here. Don't do that one. Don't do that. But y'all, man, hey, with that being said, man, the wife just pulled up. Gotta go help her with the food. So with that being said, man, I had limited time. Wish I had a little bit more time to chop it up with y'all, man. But like I said, I've been busy, man. So now I'm about to go ahead and chill on out, man. So appreciate y'all tuning in, man, for the little time that I did have. Appreciate y'all tapping in with your boy. Appreciate all the comments, donations, all the interaction, the dialogue. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Saturday. I may tap in with y'all tomorrow. I know it's Mother's Day. I may tap in with y'all early. May not. If I don't tap in with y'all Sunday, definitely tap in with y'all Monday, man. So y'all be easy out here. I'll catch y'all soon, man. Stay up out here. Peace.